real stress tonight. Take some time tonight. Gotta get it right, baby, before we lose it. Take a plane tonight. Get away tonight. Take you to the moon and show you what I'm doing. Think about life in the moment. Living my life right now. I be like, shit's too important. No, you can't bring me down. Stop trying hard to please him. You could just be yourself. Right now you're someone else. Right now I'm riding through the city with my windows down. Something's in the air, I can feel that loud. Someone bring me back to life or we all go down. Something's gotta change, I can feel that loud. Yeah, I'll be upset when I see the news. I'm thinking my dad, cause he taught me to be patient with life. You need no approval. I'll be upset, I'll be upset. I'll be upset when I watch the movies. Movies set up to teach you to lose. I'm hard on myself, now I gotta choose to. I'll be upset, I'll be upset.
Hey man, first of all, thanks for being here. I think it is so awesome that you're here. Beyond the Collection is a series where I speak to collectors in the community, but it's more than that. It's really kind of about the human experience and what you've been through in life. And the common thread of all of this is just collectibles. You know, you're into Funko Pops and you collect Funko Pops and vaulted vinyl, and that's how we get connected. But your story was one that, man, there's a lot to learn in there. I'm just grateful to be sitting here with you today to talk about it, because there's a lot for me to learn as well. So thank you for being here. I think it's pretty awesome.
Wow. Hey, it's such an honor, Shane, and I really thank you for saying that. It means a lot. You know, I really appreciate that opportunity for you. And when you guys like shared that, like on the the Instagram and everything, being able to like tell my family, tell my friends and stuff like that, like it was such a powerful moment, and it was really it was a great experience. So I mean, I thank you for this, and I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. What can I say?
Of course, man. How old are you?
I'm 18. I'm 18.
You're 18. Okay. So in the story that you shared for Beyond the Collection, it was at a time when you were in the Ronald McDonald House, major surgery for cancer treatment. When was that?
So oh, it's crazy. It's been like kind of a long process, to be honest. So I mean, with that whole thing happened, that was actually just this year. That was back in June, actually, at the time, and it's kind of like a follow-up sort of thing, because actually it kind of stretches back to like 2018. And I was basically like, I was having a bunch of pain in my arm and stuff like that. I thought I'd just like pull the muscle or something like that. I go to the doctor, and they basically like, they start checking it out. They're like, let's just kind of like just run some X-rays, run some ultrasounds and stuff like that. And like literally, it was within like, my life was like totally normal, straightforward, day-to-day stuff like that. And then like literally, it was like within an instant, like suddenly within like that 24-hour period, suddenly goes from like a little bit of pain in the arm to like you're gonna be looking at like, you have cancer treatment and stuff like that. You have a tumor in your arm, and it was crazy. I mean, kind of from that point on, like it was just it was like a few weeks of just like scans, going in and out of the hospital, basically just like just constantly, and it was like constant poking and prodding and all this like stuff and everything. And it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. I remember even just like leaving the hospital for the first time, like after that realization, then I was like, there's like a whole tumor in my arm. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, listen, I was like, I knew that whatever was going to be like ahead of me, I was like, it could like, destroy my body. It could break my body, but I needed to ensure that it wasn't going to break my spirit. It wasn't going to destroy my spirit. I had to stay, I had to stay strong internally, even if I was going to be weak externally, physically. Right. And so yes, I went to BC Children's Hospital for the first time. They sit me down with oncology teams and stuff like that. They're telling me that it's like, it was obviously it's a malignant tumor. It was Ewing sarcoma. So it's kind of similar to what so it's a type of bone cancer, kind of similar to what like Terry Fox had. So it's osteosarcoma. So this is like a bit of a different version of that. But it started in my left arm and everything. It was right from basically like my shoulder down to about my elbow and stuff like that. And then it also metastasized to my lungs as well. So and then again, this is a very aggressive cancer. That was quite a serious thing. I mean, luckily I hadn't spread to any other places, but it was crazy. They kind of like in a subtle way of like not really saying it, but they said it. It basically gave me like a 50-50 kind of thing. It was daunting, and they told me I'd be looking at about, because it's such an aggressive cancer and stuff like that, I'd be looking at about 14 rounds of chemotherapy. Now, I mean, there's probably some people that'll be watching this that are probably like, loved ones that have gone through like, chemo, stuff like that. But like 14, that's a lot of chemo right there. And they said it's gonna be probably around the stretch of about 10 months. And as we bi-weekly, said basically just be living in the hospital, living in Ronald McDonald House. Basically be spending the next like almost year, basically like away from my family, away from my home, just like living in the hospital, receiving this chemo and stuff like that. And it was crazy. It all just happened so fast,
Can you take me to the moment
Mm.
when you were in the room and they delivered that message to you that you have a 50-50 shot here? What was that like when that hit you? What was that like?
Mm. It almost didn't. Like it's almost like oh geez. It's like there's like scenes in movies where like kind of everything kind of goes like fades into that like kind of static and stuff like that. Kind of like life just kind of freezes for a second. It was like it wasn't really real. It was crazy. Like I remember even just like looking over at my dad and stuff like that. Like he just was just kind of looking down. Like he just like he looked defeated and stuff like that. I mean, I felt defeated. It was but it was, and yet we hadn't even started yet. You know, and it's a crazy place to kind of to work up from that. Yeah, it's like it was so surreal. I just couldn't believe it. I think that was the thing. Is like it's so it was like just it was hard to even just mentally like process to even comprehend.
Where are you at in the journey now?
Yeah, totally, man. So yeah, so it was 10 months of treatment after that and everything, man. And it started off kind of okay, but very quickly just tanked and stuff like that. Like I started, I lost my hair. I was like real thin. I mean, I'm a pretty slim guy, but I mean, I lost about oh geez, I think I lost like 20 or 30 pounds or something like
Oh,
that. Like I was down to skin and bones at that time. I couldn't eat. And then plus like, chemo, it kind of creates like these sores in your mouth and your throat and stuff like that. So not only could I like not keep food down because I was just constantly vomiting and stuff like that, but I also had sores in like my throat and my mouth and stuff like that. So I couldn't even try to eat food or put food in my mouth or drink and stuff like that. And it was yeah, I was it was devastating. It was devastating. It was like I was in, it felt like I was within like inches of death, honestly. um but then like the thing is I was at like that very like kind of like lowest point where I was just completely like physically like there was nothing left of me. Like I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything. Like I was barely alive, I was barely living. And frankly I was just like I just needed an end to it and stuff like that. I was praying either like this treatment was gonna end, maybe there's some complication that just kind of takes this all away and stuff like that. And it was kind of in that, and it was kind of in that moment of like that absolute like everything had kind of been stripped away from me in my life. Like I've been stripped from my home, my family, my friends, my health, even my mind. It was starting to take a toll and stuff like that. But that was the one thing that I held on to, was just my spirit, was my faith and everything. And it was and that's what kind of kept me going. So obviously, like, and that's crazy because if you think about that, that was like way back then. I mean, now I can say that I'm just in December, actually. I can't believe it's actually coming up really soon. In just a few weeks, I'll be 3 years cancer free. I'll be 3 years cancer
let's
free.
go.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So I mean, it's been a process. It's been a journey, and then but when what can I say? I really just kind of, it was in that moment where yeah, like when I had nothing else to rely on, right? And I myself, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if you're comfortable with me talking about this and stuff like that.
Of
But I mean, I'm
course.
quite a
Of
religious
course.
person. I'm
Yes.
my Christian faith and everything. That's what kind of kept me going, is my faith in Christ, right? There's this verse in like Psalm 73. It says, "Though my heart and my strength may fail, the Lord is my strength and my portion forever." Right.
Mhm.
So even in those moments, the Lord was my strength. Christ was my strength. That was the one thing that they couldn't take away from me, was my faith, was my identity in Christ and everything. And that just it kept me going and sustained me. And I had that faith in the moment. I could have given up. I could have given up. But something, even when I couldn't even carry myself, the Lord carried me through it. And He's restored so much to me and everything. I get to, it's crazy. Even I've had a couple of follow-up surgeries where like even like the bone, because what they did was they cut the tumor out. It was crazy. It was like a 10-hour surgery or something, some crazy stuff. They cut the tumor out, they cut the bone out, put in a new bone with plates and screws and stuff like that. And then I had that for a couple of years and everything, but I had a couple of follow-up surgeries where like little screws came out and stuff like that, or like things were loose. They had to go back and patch things up and everything. But then that most recent one, the story that I shared with the Funko and everything, yeah, that one was crazy. The entire bone had basically shattered pretty much. because it was like it was a cadaver bone and stuff like that. Like it never actually like healed and became part of my arm because of the chemo mostly. But they had to basically like take everything, and it was crazy. I remember even just seeing the X-ray for that. Like my whole arm was just like obliterated. And the craziest part is I couldn't even feel any of it because of the nerve damage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That was the wildest thing. And then, but anyways, that was another big surgery. And then what they did was they took a bone from my leg instead, and then put that in there as kind of a replacement. I remember, yeah, so that's why I shared that story about like the Funko and everything. Because yeah, I recently got started into that stuff around like March and stuff like
Okay.
that. So I've been going at it for a little while now, for this year. But it was so cool because I went to Vancouver and everything, and yeah, my dad surprised me. He's like, "Hey, I set up this Facebook Marketplace deal." I go downstairs. I'm using like a crutch and stuff like that. I've got my arm in a sling and everything. It was a daunting surgery even looking at it and stuff like that. And then I'll walk outside. There's the guy and everything. Yeah, he pulls out the Funko, go to take out my money, and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He says, "Hey, like, he's like, put that away, put that away. You just take care of yourself." You know what I mean? Yeah. Ever since then, God has continued to be so good to me and everything. And I've had, even right now, having this opportunity to share this with you and everything. I mean, it's just, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. And it goes to show how, like, even in like that darkest moment, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the night has to be as darkest in order for you to see the day and stuff like that. There's never, even when you feel completely defeated and stuff like that, there's not, it doesn't have to be the end, if anything, it's probably just the new beginning for something completely new, right? And that's what I think it's really all about, is like essentially, like, even I wake up every morning and I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful, even just to be alive, to get out of bed, to to be able to like walk over, take a shower. I don't have to carry around this giant IV pole with bags and stuff like that. I don't have to get my vitals done every 3 hours. We go to school, go to work, eat food. Even the fact that like my hair, man, it's crazy. I couldn't believe I was bald. I was known as being like the bald guy for a year and a half, and yeah, here's my hair right now, man. It's every single day people are like, "Oh man, how you get your hair like that?" And stuff. And I was like, "It's just like that. It's crazy." Oh man, but yeah, definitely. I would just encourage anybody going through something right now, like, just don't, yeah, please don't give up. Please don't give up. You can be. It's kind of like if you're in a hole in life and you have a shovel. Um, I feel like you have to try to dig yourself out. You can't just dig yourself deeper.
When you're in the dark moments
Mm.
and it just seems like it's you and you're having these internal conversations with you or God or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, totally.
What was that conversation that you were having at your lowest point? What was that?
Oof. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was just oh man. Geez, I was just by myself in my room at the time and stuff like that. And I remember just like, geez, honestly, just like I went to like try to walk over. It was what it was. It was basically like just something just set something off. I was trying to just I had to get up out of bed and everything, unplug the IV pole, hang it up, start moving it over. And I'm like I'm weak and frail at the time. So I could barely pull this thing with me and stuff like that. So I start walking. Actually, no, oh, it wasn't even that. I forgot to unplug it, stuff like that. So I go up and I get up to start walking to the bathroom and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it just like the cord just yanks on me. And it was just and it really hurt a lot because I had like a port access in my chest and everything. So like it just pulled on it, right? And it kind of yanked me back, and I almost even fell over because I was like walking pretty fast, kind of like, I guess, kind of stumbling forward. And I remember something about that just like set it off, and I just remember like I felt like so like almost like it was like a chain, like almost like like that was kind of pulling on me, like and it was just devastating. I remember even just kind of I remember I just kind of wept, It's just kind of like I've been kind of holding everything in for so long because it's hard you can't really take time to even cry and stuff like that. It'd been a long time since I'd even cried, going through all of this and stuff like that, because I was just kind of so numb. It was so numb. It was just so much all at once, right? And I just kind of broke down. I just kind of wept and allowed myself to feel everything that was happening and everything. And I just kind of fell to my knees, and I just kind of processed everything. And I was very honest with myself and my mind. Like maybe there was part of my mind that was maybe blocking things out, maybe wishing it wasn't true. But in the moment I was like, this is real. This is happening. This is how the heck am I supposed to, this is unescapable. It was such like a hopeless, I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Where am I, where am I going? Where is there ever going to be any kind of end to this? Like, why did this happen to me? Like, what's the point of this and stuff like that? And it was crazy. There was this little cloth, there was this little handkerchief that it was one of the cleaning ladies, she'd given it to me as a gift, but I never really had a chance to see it because she kind of like set it down on the table at the other end. So I finally I kind of stumbled up, I got up, unplugged, my IV pole and everything. And essentially I went ahead and I walked over and I saw it. I don't know what, it just kind of came into my vision. I saw the cloth on the table over there, right? And I realized, I went and I opened it up and it had this actually another verse written on it. It was Psalm 91. And I've never even heard of Psalm 91, but I took it and I'm like, I'm just devastated, absolutely devastated. Like it could not be in a worse place and stuff like that. And I go and I open this up right here. And actually I'm gonna pull it up real quick, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
For sure, yeah. So it says, so he said, it says, this is in Psalm 91, it says, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes. If you say, the Lord is my refuge, make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. No disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands, so you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Oh, geez, wow. Even just like reading that again.
It just smokes you, man.
Crazy,
it's like
man.
you can go through it and man,
it's
one thing that I've noticed just from my experience of,
Mhm.
Going through life and trying to figure it out. That's
Totally,
what it's all
man,
about.
totally.
It's trying to figure out life and what this
man.
existence is. And I know you know what
Totally.
I'm talking about.
Totally.
There's times where you do read a Bible verse like that.
Yeah.
And it just hits you. And it's like you can read it. It's like you have these special goggles on when you're reading. Have you seen National Treasure?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Course,
so you know when there's like the lemon on the back of the Declaration of Independence, and you got the glasses on, and like that's what it feels like to read.
Exactly, yeah.
I would say more so. I would say more so today. Spiritual might be a better word for me to explain. And it's just reality of what this all is. But it's like, man, when you read the Bible now, it is, you're seeing it completely differently than you were before you understood, before you knew. And I can feel that with you, and I know that you see it. Like it's almost to a point where you can read verses and it will bring you to tears, and you can weep just by reading it. And when you feel it,
man. And that was it. And I remember it was that last because I was reading it and I was like, oh, this is nice, this is good and everything. Oh, this is really nice. I couldn't believe it was those last three verses, man. It was those last three verses where it said, because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. With him in trouble, I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. I didn't know if I was gonna. I even think about I feel like I'm 18 now and stuff like that. Like I graduated high school, I got a driver's license and stuff like that. I mean, at the time, I didn't even know if I was gonna experience any of those things and stuff like that. I didn't know if I was just gonna, if that was the end, just if that was it, just if I was gonna just suffer like this, and then I was gonna just pass away, you know. And unfortunately, I knew a lot of people that was the case for them. And I even think about that and stuff like that. Oh, geez, I think the biggest thing for
Hmm.
those, because I know so many people that, even people with the same cancer, same exact
Yeah.
cancer as me, they passed away, they died at the same, and they're at the same age as me, or younger and stuff like that. Um, and I think the biggest thing was, I think about those people, man, and I think I'm like, even where I'm at now and stuff like that. I have to live for them, you know. I have to live for them, even if I can't live for myself and stuff like that. And that was even because I've even after treatment and stuff like that. Like it was hard for me to come back, like bounce back mentally and physically. It took like a long time, like several months and stuff like that, for me to really like get into a good place of like getting back into normal life again. Like I was very depressed and stuff like that,
Hmm.
very haunted, very, very haunted by everything that had happened and stuff
Mm.
like that. A lot of that kind of post-traumatic, stress
Hmm.
stuff, like kind of stuff and everything. But that was one of actually the biggest motivations. Was it was one of the hardest things for me to deal with, was those people that passed away. But it was there's also what kept me going though, was I thought, like, even if I can't live for myself, I have to live for them. I have to live for them, right? Because life is such a gift, right? There's people like them and everything. They don't have the chance to grow old. They don't have the chance to get their driver's license, to turn 18 and stuff like that. And I knew that I was like, I can't just be wasting time like this. I can't waste my life, especially given the fact that I was so close to that, right? The fact that I was lucky enough, blessed enough to be able to be here still, to overcome that, to be triumphant over that and everything. Like, I have to make the most out of the life that I'm given and everything, because life is such a gift. It's such a gift. And honestly, I just, yeah, like I think one of the biggest things is, like, now, like, I've it's crazy. I mean, even think about where I am now. Like, I've got my whole life ahead of me now and everything, and I'm so grateful for that. And I encourage, like, everyone too, and stuff like that. Your life is such a gift too. Whatever you're going through as well and stuff like that, like, it's gonna become something powerful and beautiful in the future and stuff like that. I guarantee it. And yeah, exactly, like, wake up in the, like, be thankful for every day that you have. Be thankful for your family, your friends. uh it's a beautiful thing. Even Funko collecting, man. Funko
Hmm.
collecting, it's just one of those little things where you can just take life and just find a little bit of enjoyment out of it, and I really encourage, yeah, life's very finite thing, very finite thing and everything, right? And yeah, we just have to, oh, enjoy while it lasts, Mhm.
When did you get the clarity? Because I know when you go through it, the arc of the story of something like that. I mean, obviously the dark times, as you've said, very, very dark times.
Yeah.
When did you get the clarity and all the heaviness kind of lifted off of you and you got a new perspective? When was that?
Ooh, I'm trying to kind of think, man. Definitely after my surgery. After my surgery, there was oh man, this is this crazy moment. So it was after my surgery. I came out of the anesthetic. It was rough, man. I was really sick from the anesthetic. It was like I was really in pretty rough shape after the surgery and stuff like that, because it was very long. It was very long, and I lost a lot of blood too during the surgery and stuff like that. So I was really, like, not doing well. But I kind of, and plus, another thing was, like, I noticed that my arm was completely, it was almost like I actually, like, startled myself, because I looked at my arm. It was like this weird nerve kind of dissociation, where it looked like it was somebody else's arm sitting there. And because I couldn't feel it, I couldn't move it or anything after the surgery and stuff like that. And it wasn't because of any kind of, like, medication or anything like that. Like, it was literally just because of, like, the nerves and stuff like that. Like, my arm was almost completely, like, dead. And and I remember, like, just like, oh, it was in that rough thing, like, coming out of the surgery. But the one thing was, like, I kept, like, I was willing my arm to move with every, like, inch of my being, and it wouldn't move. It wouldn't move. But one thing I could do is I could twitch my thumb a little bit. I could just slightly, like, even just like a slight twitch and stuff like that. Couldn't even feel it, but I could just make it move a little bit. And then they kind of, like, took me up back to my room and stuff like that. I didn't sleep that night. I felt terrible. But I just kept, like, focusing. I just got, like, I wiggled my thumb some more, then I started being able to, like, twitch, my pointer fingers and stuff like that. And then I just kept moving it until it started to move more. And then I could close my finger, right? Then I kind of kept it closed for a minute. I'd hold it there and then we'll, like, kind of release, and, like, hold it there, release. and then just kept like working each of my fingers, spent the whole night doing it, stuff like that. And also they knew about like my arm was dead, and they were like kind of like they were kind of like, okay, we'll just kind of wait it out, we'll see how it goes and stuff like that. It's gonna take time, encourage me like it's gonna take time, it's gonna take time. And by the time I kind of like, and by like the morning and stuff like that, the doctors come in, the whole surgical team, they come in, they're checking on me and stuff like that. And they're like how are things? They're like, how are you doing? Like, like, I know things were rough and stuff like that. We don't want you to be discouraged or anything with your arm. Like, we're sure like it'll like, like, I mean, it's going to take time and it might not be everything that we expected it to be, but you know what, like, we just kind of make the best of what we have and everything. Like, it was like a hard, like a depressing conversation. But that was another little, a little hobby I had going at that time was, I was really into like Rubik's Cubes
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. I always brought one with me in the hospital because I always like play with it and stuff like that while I was there. But I was sitting at week and I was like, and they're like talking to me and I was like, I just gotta put my hand up. I was like, stop. Just like, and then they all kind of like quieted down and they're like, what's he gonna say? Like, what's he gonna do? So I reached over, I grabbed the Rubik's Cube off of my table, and I picked it up, and I kind of to prop up this arm a little bit. And then I just started slowly turning it. And I kept turning it, and they're like watching me like in shock. They're like, what the, it was crazy. And then I keep moving it, start speeding up a little bit, and then boom, I solved
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah.
You should have, oh my gosh, man, you should have seen their faces, like it was like they saw a ghost. It was crazy. I mean, it might not sound like a lot,
No, it's like a scene out of a movie, man.
but dude, it was something, man. Like, even I'm seeing like these like, yeah, like, these doctors, like, and everything, like they were just like floored. Like, they were just like, they didn't know what to do with this. And they're like, that was crazy. Like, it was like they basically just kind of were like, they were like, oh my God, that's incredible, But at the same time, they were like, that was a little weird. That was a little crazy. And then they leave. And then actually throughout the rest of the day, I was like kind of working more with physical therapy, moving my arm and stuff like that. And actually people started coming into my room, like other patients, nurses, other doctors. They came over and they were like, you're the guy that just had like that big like arm surgery, right? You're the one with the Ewing sarcoma. They were like, we just heard that you just solved a Rubik's Cube. You're solving Rubik's Cubes in here? And then it was literally people started coming in like literally like regularly like throughout the day, and I'd solve like the Rubik's Cube for them, and like everybody be like cheering me on. They're like, that's incredible, man, that's so cool. And then it was in something else. So really, yeah. So then also like I just kept working on it, and like my physical function of my arm within like less than a week, like a few days, like it was fully working again and stuff like that, maybe even better than before. That's what I was gonna show people. I don't know if you can really see it, but like even like this hand, it's like actually these fingers actually move faster than my other like regular arm and stuff like that. Like I just have like finer like dexterity and stuff like that. It's crazy. But also with the surgery, I had about 3 weeks where I got to be off chemo, 3 weeks off chemo. So I got to finally have a break and stuff like that, even like from like the chemotherapy in general and stuff like that. And then I just remember I started feeling so much better. Obviously I had that moment where I started to get my arm back and everything. I started eating again and everything, gained a lot of weight back. I got to go home to my family for the first time in like 4 months or something like that. I go back to my home and see my friends and stuff like that. And it was crazy because this was like a week. It was like a week after that moment right there with like with the cloth and everything with the Psalm 91. It was like right at like a week after that. And then all of a sudden all of that happened all at once. And it was like I remember just like it was even just like I was back at home, just like sitting with my family, just eating my food, hanging out with my dog, And I remember it just kind of hit me. I was like, I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna beat this. I'm like, this is it. I was even looking at it like, this is for 3 weeks. I was like, I bounced back. I bounced back, man. And I was like, this next little bit of, I was like, if I could go through those few months and stuff like that, this next one's, yeah, it's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be nothing. I'm gonna go through it. Like, man, like I'm like, it's almost like it just everything that had been keeping me down or pushing me down just lost its power on me completely. I mean, the next several months still brutal physically and stuff like that, but my mindset was just impenetrable. I felt unstoppable and everything, right? And And it was crazy. And yeah, and then over the next little while, like I had a bunch of other stuff happen, but like it didn't nearly. I went through it. I just went through it, and I was still myself. You know, I was still able to kind of be myself, be upbeat, be positive, be optimistic, and everything. And it was so incredible. I mean, even like the people I got to speak to and stuff like that, they were like, "That's incredible! Like it's like this is like a new Logan," you know. And I think
Man,
it really was. I think it really was. Yeah,
I tell you what, being in the collector realm, we hear about
yeah.
superheroes a lot, Batman, Superman, Iron Man, whoever your favorite superhero may be, right? And it's super impactful on humans and the stories that are told through those superheroes. And then I look at it and I'm like, man, who are my superheroes, right? And my superheroes are those that are out there going through it, man. And then also finding the light in the darkness and continuing to go through it and be positive and find the positivity in the negative. And man, you are the definition of that. You're the kind of person that I look to for inspiration. I think there's a lot of people look up to celebrities or superheroes or whatnot, but like you are my superhero, man.
Oh man, that's that's.
You
I appreciate
embody
that.
you
Appreciate it.
embody
No.
all of it. And like probably 15, 16, 17 at the time when you got delivered this
Yeah, yeah,
news
yeah,
of cancer, man.
yeah,
50-50
yeah,
shot at 15, 16,
yeah,
17
yeah.
years old. And you had to look reality in the face and look at the cards that you were dealt. And you chose to just give it hell, man, and choose light and just keep fighting. And here you are on the other side. And that entire journey, we could talk for hours, but like that entire journey of
Well,
like
yeah.
going through it, learning truth about yourself and whatever that connection is to a higher power within you. I mean, that is unbelievable. And that is something I think a lot of people can learn from. And I think the word that comes to my mind when I think about you and your journey is perspective. I think a lot of times emotion can kind of come in our lives, and it's a lot of times it's little things that'll get us
Mhm.
off kilter, and we will complain about this and that, and we don't have perspective on life and how precious it
Mhm.
is.
Oh,
And
totally, totally.
we
Yeah.
only got one, and
Mhm. Yeah.
and it's just, I'm so grateful to be sitting here with you today, and I'm so grateful that you're cancer free 3 years.
Thank you, man. Thank you. God
um,
bless you,
and
man.
just
Thank you.
just to
Thank you.
have the opportunity to sit here and connect with you, someone that's in the collecting community. And that's how we're even talking today,
Yeah.
is yet
Isn't that incredible? Yeah.
through
Exactly.
collectibles. But it's like you
Yeah.
trying to
Totally, man.
find the light and be as best as you can be and make it through the things that you can, and then also me trying to be as great as I can and do whatever I can to help others in any way that I can, whether it be through vaulted vinyl or my
Mhm.
experiences, has led us
Yeah.
here.
Totally, man. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm grateful to be here with you, man.
Wow. I'm so grateful to be here with you too, man. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
I have a few more questions for you because I'm
Go right
interested,
ahead, man.
man.
Be my guest. Be my
You
guest.
go through quite the journey of cancer. A lot of people would look at that and be like, that would crush me. That is insurmountable. You get through it, and you're 18 now. You have the rest of your life ahead of you. Like all of that you experience, now you get to move forward in life with that understanding. And I
Thank
am
you.
rooting
Thank
for
you.
you. And I know you're going to do whatever you want to do. But my question is, do you have any dreams? And what are those?
Oh, wow. That's a good question, my man. It's a good question. I know definitely one of the biggest things is I definitely want to share that perspective with other people. You know, I mean, even this right now, like what being having this opportunity right now is already a dream come true for me, man. Like I mean, it's one of the most powerful things now is like I get to, like having the opportunities to share my, my perspective, my story with people and everything, and be able to just give people just inspiration and just motivation and stuff like that, and a little bit of hope. I really hope I can give people hope, and stuff like that, because I think it's such a powerful thing. People need more of a man. You know what I'm saying? And I think yeah, I definitely want to be able to keep just like, yeah, keep like working with people and just being able to kind of just touch them in little ways and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be a big thing of me telling them my story and stuff like that, giving them some big lecture or something. But even just being able to just live my life and stuff like that, and really give back give back to people, give back to the Lord and stuff like that. Because I even think about like over at like BC Children's Hospital and our Mama McDonald House, there was so many incredible people, man. Like you really see like the like such, oh my gosh, so many kindnesses, so many incredible kindnesses, so many wonderful people. And it's like I can't help but want to share that kindness with other people in the same way and everything, right? And yeah, like what can I say? Like I really, yeah, I just want to be able to, yeah, just touch people's lives in the same way that other people have touched my life and everything, and be able to give back for sure. Yeah.
I'm so on board with you. If you need anything from me, if I can support you in any way, anything in the future, hit me up. I'm here for you.
Thank you
And
for that, man.
I'm in
Thank
your
you. Thank
corner,
you.
and I'm a big fan.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I mean, that means the world to me. That means the world to me. Really. Thank you.
I hope you have an unbelievable Sunday. I hope you life ahead of you. I'm so excited for, keep me in the loop with whatever you're trying to do. Really, if there's anything that you're trying to do and you need some help or you need some support, hit me up, shoot me an email, and we'll make something happen. Okay.
Absolutely, man. Hey, listen, it was such a pleasure visiting with you today, and really thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for listening to this, man, and everything. And it was such a pleasure, and you're an incredible guy yourself and everything. And really, I have so much admiration for you for even doing this and stuff like that, and opening up this opportunity for other people to come in and stuff like that and share that with other people. You're already doing it, man. You're doing that work, like being able to share that inspiration with people, like have it, like doing this beyond the collection stuff and everything. So I think that's really beautiful. That's really wonderful, and you're doing a great thing. And I just hope you just keep it up, man. You're doing good work. What can I say?
All right, man. God bless you. You're going to help a lot of people.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Okay. Oh, can I say one thing before I leave?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
I was
What
gonna
do you
say, man,
got?
there's one thing. It's something that I really I live by. I want
Yes.
that
Yep.
my closing word. If you put everything in God's hands, right? You put everything in God's hands. You start to see God's hands and everything.